Hey, how's it going? I want to do an update on where I'm at on the lower cabinets. Finished the upper cabinets already, and now we're kind of starting to install the lower cabinets. First video, I showed you guys how to put your rail all the way around the room so it's level using a laser. And then I showed you a little video on how to fix the feet. So how to make these guys a little bit more strong and able to stand up to daily use. And then this video, I'm going to show you the lighting that I'm using. So the uppers, I have different kinds of lights. I've got a backlight, then I have these little spotlights. But in the lowers, it's just one light. It's just a drawer light. So these drawer lights, all that happens is they have little sensors. They come from IKEA. When you pull out the drawer, the sensor gets far enough away from the front and it turns off. So just push the sensor back and forth and it works great. Gives you light as well as kind of its cool factor. Like you flip open the drawer and that looks great. All of these cabinets that I'm installing on the lowers, they're all drawers with the exception of a small cabinet custom cabinet that I made for pans, and then under the sink, it's those are actual doors. But everything's a drawer in the lower. I just like the drawers because, you know, you can just stand up normally, get something, and then it can be all the way at the very back and you can still get access to it. I'm not a huge fan of a lot of the other designs, but one of the things that means is that you got to give up the corners. So if you're going to do all drawers, you can't have corner drawers. There is such a thing as a corner drawer, but you end up losing some of the area on both sides to make a corner drawer, and I don't think you get that much use out of it. Plus, IKEA doesn't make them. You'd have to make one custom. So I'm just giving up the corners as tight as I can, try to get stuff as far over as I can, and just accepting that the corners on the lowers are basically wasted space. So we've got wider drawers, more narrow drawers, but they all have this lighting system. So let me show you what it's going to look like from underneath. These are all on. Obviously, they wouldn't all be on normally, but they're all on because there are no drawers to trigger them to turn off. So there you go. So that's what we're going to do. Basically, on these, you have a wire comes out. I'm running along a track that they give you. Then I run it along one of these little cable management tracks down to a little grommet hole that I drilled in the middle. I wouldn't drill the grommet hole in the corners because that's where the mechanism is that locks this whole cabinet together, and you'll drill right through that. So I drilled right in the middle where there's nothing to hit. And then if we go underneath, you can see it kind of keeps going. Cable management picks up and then it runs it over here. I like this because this, in case you happen to have a light burnout, unfortunately you can't switch out these lights individually. You pretty much have to replace the whole unit. So this allows me to take all the drawers out, and I could do this once it's installed permanently and once we have a countertop on top. You can install this. The kick plate is going to be in front, so it'll be height hidden away, but it gives you access to come back later and kind of maintain stuff. And then it's running kind of to a mess over here, which I'm going to clean up a little bit. But those are the transformers. And again, you can take the kick plates out and you can get in here and access this stuff later, so that if one of these little transformer units burns out, you can get in there and replace it. And then I've got my outlet inside that part of the wall. Let's see. So that's the lighting, basically. Every drawer gets a light, and the lights are automatic. So whenever you open the drawer, there's the light. Keeps it pretty easy. Wanted to show you guys a couple other things. Next thing was how I'm doing this corner piece of wood here. So this is a box, and that's a box. And you're gonna have a gap if you happen to do it the way I did it. If you put in an L with like a Lazy Susan or something, you won't have this gap, but I have the gap. So what it is You can see that it's just brick molding that runs all the way down. And then I put a piece of MDF plywood attached to both the brick molding faces. And that just gives me basically 2 pieces of MDF plywood, or trim, I should say. This piece continues a little further, and then this one just butts into it. And when it's all said and done, I'm gonna nail this whole thing together with a little pin nailer. But I'm waiting until I get the cabinets in on this side before I make my final connections and everything is in place. This will get a plywood top until we get around to putting in an actual top. One of the things I have to be really careful about is there's very little clearance on the drawers. So take a look at this. So the drawer clears, but it's only like 1 millimeter or 2, which should be fine. We're gonna actually kind of reinforce stuff and make sure everything's nice and tight. These drawers have more space, but because of the size of the range, it's all pretty squished in here. I put on the panel on the side here, so you can see there's the panel on the lower, panel on the upper, and that'll get painted, and it will look really good when it gets painted. And then you'll have, obviously, you know, finished drawers on the front. Last thing I wanted to show real quick here, let's see if I can do this. So I'm gonna put on a little tripod action here. All right, there we go. So I was talking earlier about the how you can use the feet to level the cabinet. So let me put the tripods. Give me 1 second here, get this in the right spot. Okay, hopefully you can see that pretty well. All right, so I'll turn on my little laser or my little level here. And let's see if you can see that. Yeah, that's good. So you can see my cabinet's a little out of level. I'm sitting at about 0.3. It's saying the feet need to come down or the wall come up. I can't bring the wall up. So all I got to do is turn the feet here. And as you turn it, you see it's already dropping. 0.1. And just a little more and we'll have it. There we go. That's pretty good. 0.05. I'd start measuring what it is side to side. And this might need to come up just a tiny bit. Keep things pretty good. So I'm at 0.05 side to side. And yeah, I guess about 0.05 to 0.1, that direction. So you just kind of play around with all these feet and kind of adjust it till you get the right inclination front and back. And then obviously that rail that's right along the wall is making sure everything is level this way. But you can also level the front by raising 1 foot and lowering another one. So that's how you get the height finally dialed in until you get stuff pretty much zeroed out. And that is way more level than probably anybody else has their cabinets. So hopefully that'll help somebody out, figure out how to install it, how to do some lighting, how to do some lower trim and the end cap. And then the next video I'll do, once I get everything installed here and get the lights kind of dialed in and all the stuff figured out, I'll do a video on putting in the kick plates that'll go along the lower. So I'll show you how that works and we'll catch up then. Thanks so much. Hope this helps someone put in IKEA cabinets on the lowers. Good luck.